Hello, welcome to FOPY'sCreations. I'm Jan. My aim on this channel is to upcycle. I've been using the wrong word apparently. I've looked up the definition between recycle and upcycle and I think I've been using the wrong word. But anyway, so my aim is to upcycle materials and just things that I've got in my stash, in my craft room, craft area, and just try and save them from landfill. On my last video I showed you some photos of things that I've made in the past. There seemed to be a bit of interest around the phone rest. It's phone or tablet rest. I haven't got it to show you because obviously it's now with my grandson, but this is the photo of it, and I've got my fabric already cut out, and as I go along with my things now, I'm making my own instructions so that I can understand them. And yeah, so we'll get started on that in a second. But I just, first of all, just wanted to apologise. I've just seen myself in the mirror and I just look very tired. At the moment I'm just having problems with my breathing and I don't really know why it is. It's been going on for a little while. And you've probably noticed it in some of the videos where I'm quite heavy breathing. So I'm pretty sure it's not COVID, but being with things I've had with chemo and radiotherapy, all this sort of thing, who knows. So I'm going to the doctor on Monday and I shall tell you in my next video how that went. But now I'm here and I've rested for a bit. I've got my breath back because I have to come up 2 flights of stairs to the obviously to the loft, so it sometimes gets to me, so I have to try and sit down, calm down, and then I can film and show you. Okay, so let's get myself ready. Okay, so right, according to my instructions, you need to cut, for a phone, you need to cut a piece of fabric which needs to be 5 inches by 16 inches, which is 13 centimetres by 41 centimetres. It doesn't have to be exact, considering what it is. And then you need a smaller piece to go in, which goes inside, which is 4 inches by 6 inches, or 10 centimetres by 15 centimetres. So that you need those 2 bits of fabric. And this is another fantastic one to use scraps up with because this doesn't need a lot of fabric. You also need stuffing. Now, what I tend to do is, if I've got a cushion I'm about to throw away, or if I find a cushion somewhere that I don't like, I'll buy that because it's usually cheaper than buying a bag of stuffing. So I use the stuffing for that, from that, and rice is what I put in my grandson's. And I watched a lady the other day making one of these, and she used polyfill. Now I've not seen it, but it's no doubt around. But again, it would be buying new. But it does mean that it's not going to attract animals and things. So if that's a concern of yours, that you didn't want food inside, then you're probably better to try and use something like polyfill. I mean, apparently that's got some weight to it as well, because it needs to have some weight to be able to stay in place. I'll be using rice, but I think I might look out at charity shops or anything like that to see if anybody's giving away some bags of polyfill. So yeah, so I'm prepared with that. So both pieces have been cut out. What I need to do now is, I've got the 2, that's the longer piece. So we need to fold that in half. Actually, no, I need right sides together, don't I? This bit of fabric, as I say again, was another scrap, but it's just like Beatrix Potter. It's quite sweet. So there we go. Fold it in half, and what we need to do is sew down the whole of one side using the usual sort of 1 centimetre seam allowance. And then on the other side, we need to sew down and leave 5 centimetres open at the end. Okay, so we'll get on and do that. and then we move on to the next thing. Okay, I've got my machine ready, and what I did off camera, I realised it was fraying a little bit, so I've serged all around the edges. You know, I like to serge, and it just keeps it nice and tidy. So we fold that in half. I don't know if you can see or not off camera, let me just move it over. What I'm using this on for sewing this time is my thread on this, I think it's just called a thread holder. And it's got a very heavy weight on it, but it enables me to use, especially if you use, using a certain colour a lot through your sewing, but it enables you to put a huge reel on there, like the ones you would get for your serger, and just thread that through your machine. The only problem I had with this one, when I took the plastic off, which was keeping it clean, it pulled the end off of the cone. Seems to be fine, it seems to work fine, but it's not how it's supposed to be, obviously. Right, let's sew. As I said, first one, you're going down, let's put my magnet in place, we're going down 1 centimetre, right down one side. That's the first one. And the other one, I'm going to make a mark, I think, just to make sure I don't do this wrong. That's my marker pen. And I'm going to get my tape. So only 5 centimetres from the end. There we go. Mark there. So these are my erasable, my iron, not erasable as such, but there's ones where I use them, and when you iron it, then it erases it. Okay, so we're going to start from that 5 centimetre mark. Right, all one side. You see there I put my mark for my 5 centimetres. Now we're going to turn it out the other way. Now I want to press that so I can see what I'm doing. Since my my last video, my show and tell video went out, I've received quite a few photos from viewers showing me things that have made. It's been brilliant. I'm starting to feel quite intimidated. Sorry, excuse me, I'll get my pokey tool. There we go. Yeah, as I say, some of them are really good. I've got some people have sent me things that they're well, basically they're sending me the before pictures, so hopefully I'll receive the ones when they've finished it, so that'd be quite exciting to see how things have changed. Like one of them is reupholstering a chair. That's something I've not been brave enough to do yet, so now you see here, that's the hole where the filling is going to be going in a second, but I want to turn it in first and press it so that it's ready for when I have to close the hole again, and I've got a line there to follow. Well, it's quite nice little scenes there, Beatrix Potter, little cat. I have to say, I don't remember all the names, do you, from Beatrix Potter? Okay, so now we've got to mark. This is another tool I just love. It's so useful, and as most of you that have got them will know, because you can see through, you know exactly where you're marking. It's brilliant. So now I need, now what have I got my instructions? Using my trusty measure, I can't even remember what I think they use these mainly for quilting. But I can make a first line of 5 centimetres according to my instructions, and then a second line at 6 centimetres, or just outside, because the lady did it made it 1/2 inch, so it's slightly different. But as long as your phone can sit in that bit, that's fine. Right, so let's stitch those. I know you can't see the top of my head at the minute, but I can't let you see me and what we're doing. Just try and be very careful to follow the line, because the pattern is a bit misleading. You can't see the line all the way through. Right, there, so you can see there's the hole. So now we need to fill that. I'm going to use rice. I must admit, I mean, I mentioned polyfill, but more I think about it, it's plastic and it does put me off. I don't know. I'm using rice because it's got the weight. If I can think of anything else to use, I will do. But at the moment, that's what I've decided. And the original pattern I used a long time ago, or looked at, they used rice as well, but maybe they're like me and they don't want to use plastic really. Okay, so I've got, just hoping I'm not going to get in a mess, which you usually do with rice, don't you? So it's coming out of a hole now. Obviously I'm only using top budget rice, nothing expensive. I tried using a normal funnel before, but even my biggest funnel, it just wouldn't flow through, so Duncan's made me a funnel out of the top of the bottle. Another bit of recycling. Okay, I've cut the bag open. See, I've already managed to make a mess, but I'm going to try and use this top to a spray bottle I've got. Scoop it into there. So I'm going to put the open end of or the narrow end of the bottle in the opening. It's a fiddly. There we go. I still can't guarantee I'm not going to get in a mess with this, but I'm going to use this because it'd be easier to pull than lift the bag up and have it everywhere. Brilliant, much better. If you'd have seen the mess Sharon and I were getting in doing this one day. Oh, it's nearly full already. One tiny bit. That's it. It's enough for me to now sew that top by hand. Right, let's put a pin on that while I thread my needle. That didn't go too bad, that threading. I normally struggle. That's Adam Kingby Daly. Actually sent me some of those needle threaders. I keep forgetting I've got them. But that wasn't too bad. I didn't struggle too much that time. The knot inside. That's it. Use my usual invisible hemming sort of stitch. There's probably a posh name for it. You know me, I don't know the posh names. In case you didn't know, you should basically go in on the fold, along the fold, and then opposite where you've come out with the thread, go on the other side of the fabric on that fold. Do the same again on that side, through the fold, and then pull it tight. You can barely see the stitches. I love this stitch, it's so much easier and so much tidier. So this is a relatively quick make, like most things. Once you know what you're doing with it, it doesn't take long at all. I forgot, I did, the one I showed you in the photo wasn't the only one I made, because I did make them for I made about another 5. I made one for my granddaughter, one for my other 2 grandsons, and maybe another one as well. So quite a lot of them had them for that Christmas. And I have to say it was quite funny, because when they opened them, they looked at them like, what's that? And then the penny dropped. I should have sent instructions, shouldn't I? But I'd like to have been a fly on the wall to see their faces when they opened it. In fact, I did put instructions, that's right, in my oldest grandson's one. I didn't do it in the others, and because it just happened that he was the last one to open his, so they didn't have a clue when they opened their one. Right, so that's that filled up. The phone sits there. I can't use my phone because I'm filming on it to show you, but yeah, so the phone sits there, and now we've got to pinch this together like that eventually, so you end up with it sitting like that. But first we're going to do the inside bit. Now this is to hold the rice inside there, so that it's sealed and doesn't escape really. So what we do is just fold that in half, and because you're not going to see it's inside, you don't really need to be sewing it and turning it out the other way and everything. You just keep it as it is. But again, I'm going to quickly serge the edges just to tidy them up, and then we'll do, well, in fact I think I'll just serge around two sides, and then we'll fill it. So much better. I do love my serging. Okay, now I need to put some rice in there. Oh, any bets I'm going to make a mess? Just a tiny bit more. That's it. And now I'm going to put a couple of pins in there. This bit, you can, if you leave enough out, you can still get it under the machine to sew. In fact, if you use your zipper foot, for sure. Right, I'm just going to change the foot. Okay, I've got my zipper foot on now. Hopefully that'll make it easier for me to just do this and not have to lose too much rice. I have to confess, the reason I don't know really what I'm doing with this bit is because I didn't do this last time. I just happened to see it on another YouTube vlog. She did it, and I thought it was quite a good idea because less chance of the rice escaping. Okay, I could have edited this out and you not known any different probably, but I wanted to show you. I made a mistake just now. I sewed that way, but it needs to go that way, so it's opposite to that one. So I've got to try and stitch again now. I just had a sudden thought, hang on a minute, that's not quite right. I might make mistakes for you to learn by. That's my excuse anyway. So you do it, and then you say, oh, Jan made that mistake, I'm not going to do that. Right, let's stitch that again. Personally, this looks too small to me, going by what that lady's done. I think I would make it bigger, but we'll see, it might work. Well, it obviously worked for her. It just seems very small to me. Right, stitched it the other way now. Let's go over it again like I did before. Just you can use anything to guide it through. This is the first thing to hand is my little screwdriver, just to help get it through under the foot for some reason, because it's quite close. There we go. Don't know why that was so much more fiddly than the other way around, but it was. Right, so now that goes in there like that. So that there now, I'll put it on there. That is where your phone sits, like I said, and that is where it rests on the back. Now the rest of it I need to stuff with normal stuffing, so I'll get that now. So this has all come out of cushions that I've just got tired of or decided to recycle into something else. So stuff that all around that. So the little bag itself with the rice in is really just to give it a bit of weight so it doesn't keep moving about. So it's gradually filling out. Before anybody says anything, I'm pretty sure this is probably plastic, but I'm recycling it. I'm not buying new, so I'm sure a lot of things are based out of plastic, unfortunately. But back in the day, it was seen as a good thing because it would last. They weren't thinking of the consequences, were they? Right, seam to seam again. See, but this time we're going to have to tuck it in to make a tidy seam. So it's in about 1 centimetre. Tidy end again. So. There we go. That's it. Well, it's pinned, but so I can't show you at the moment because I'm filming on my phone. Oh, stuffing's really itching my nose. But so now I'm going to hand stitch that seam, and then we're done. It's quite cute, isn't it? A little one. As I say, you'd have to put on, depending on the size of your tablet really, but I reckon you need to put, I don't know, a couple of inches either side, or whatever centimetres, and obviously need to be similar, so add on for on the length, just to be able to take a tablet. But I mean, even that, to be honest, you could probably still rest your tablet on there, just won't be as wide as the tablet, but it will still rest on there. But I think that's quite a good easy make. So now I'm going to hand stitch that, and then we'll be done. Same stitch again, same as I did on the other little one. Tuck the knot inside. I was looking on some YouTube, just sitting watching some sewing videos the other day, and you've probably seen them as well. There's a lot of videos with sewing hacks, and some of them I just think are genius. I mean, it's like the one with the magnet. I see you can buy those magnets, and obviously I got mine from my broken magnetic pincushion. But just some of the hacks, you just think, and especially if you can recycle something or upcycle something, it's really good. What I thought I might do, I might try some of these hacks, give my opinion on them really, and see if they work for me or not, or whether I just think it's a waste of time or whatever. So I might sort of add some of those on every now and then on the videos. I mean, I love the ones where they repair jeans. I mean, it's just so hypnotic to watch when they sew them, and oh, it's genius. It's hard to take in all the information you get from these hacks. They're worth watching. And very often they're like, why didn't I think of that? You know, it's quite frustrating really. I suppose someone's got to think of it. Yeah, as I say, if you decide you need to do one for your tablet, I'd say measure the width of the tablet and try and do your, like the prop, as it were, about the same size. It could be a little bit smaller, as I say, as long as it's supported. It doesn't have to be the same size, but I've got one that I actually use on my lap in bed, so I can watch my YouTube in bed before I go to sleep some nights. Gives my hands a rest from holding the phone. And now doing this, I've got another one, but maybe I can give this to someone. There we go, finished. One phone prop. Thank you all for watching again, and I say I haven't got a hack to show you today, but I'm going to definitely put a list together and try and show you how they work for me and if they're any good. I did see some yesterday that I thought it's the same as the last one, or why would you bother with that? But I suppose it all depends on individuals, what they've got available to them to use. But okay, thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.